Hey, Kinsey, and welcome back to Remember What the Lord Has Done. Today, Numbers 11, 12, and 13. Last time we were looking at some of the camps, the Levites. We also looked at the cloud, the trumpets, and then that leaving of Sinai. So they're leaving the desert of Sinai. Today, we're going to be looking at a couple different themes or topics. We'll look at fire from the Lord, quail from the Lord. So a little bit of judgment and provision. We'll also look at some opposition and then exploration. And then we'll talk about that exploration because, man, it has big ramifications. So, why is God sending them on this exploration? We'll talk about that. But again, Numbers 11, 12, and 13 today, starting at 11. Now, the people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord, and when he heard them, his anger was aroused. Then fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So that place was called Taberah, because fire from the Lord had burned among them. The rabble with them began to crave other food, and again the Israelites started wailing and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost, also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite, and we never see anything but this manna." The manna was like coriander seed and looked like resin. The people went around gathering it and then ground it in a hand mill or crushed it in a mortar. They cooked it in a pot or made it into cakes, and it tasted something made with olive oil. When the dew settled on the camp at night, the manna also came down. Moses heard the people of every family wailing, each at the entrance to his tent. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, "Why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you, that you put this burden on all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms as a nurse carries an infant to the land you promised on oath to their forefathers? Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me, 'Give us meat to eat.' I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. If this is how you are going to treat me, put me to death right now. If I have found favor in your eyes, and do not let me face my own ruin." The Lord said to Moses, "Bring me 70 of Israel's elders who are known to you as leaders and officials among the people, and have them come to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take of the spirit that is on you and put the spirit on them, and they will help you carry the burden of the people, so that you will not have to carry it alone. Tell the people, 'Consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow, when you will eat meat.' The Lord heard when you wailed, 'If only we had meat to eat. We were better off in Egypt.' Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. You will not eat of it for just 1 day or 2 days or 5 or 10 or 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and you loathe it, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wailed before him, saying, 'Why did we ever leave Egypt?'" But Moses said, "Here I am, among 600,000 men on foot, and you say, 'I will give them meat to eat for a whole month.' Would they have enough if flocks and herds were slaughtered for them? Would they have enough if all the fish in the sea were caught for them?" The Lord answered Moses, "Is the Lord's arm too short? You will now see whether or not what I say will come true for you." So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. He brought together 70 of their elders and had them stand around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to them, and he took of the spirit that was on him and put the spirit on the 70 elders. When the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but they did not do so again. However, 2 men, whose names were Eldad and Medad, had remained in the camp. They were listed among the elders, but did not go out to the tent. Yet the Spirit also rested on them, and they prophesied in the camp. A young man ran and told Moses, "Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp." Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' aide since youth, spoke up and said, "Moses, my lord, stop them." But Moses replied, "Are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit on them." Then Moses and the elders of Israel returned to the camp. Now, a wind went out from the Lord and drove quail in from the sea. It brought them down all around the camp to about 3 feet above the ground, as far as a day's walk in any direction. All that day and night, and all the next day, the people went out and gathered quail. No one gathered less than 10 omers. Then they spread them out all around the camp. But while the meat was still in between their teeth, and before it could be consumed, the anger of the Lord burned against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. Therefore the place was named Kirboth Havata, because They buried the people who had craved other food. From Kirboth Havata, the people traveled to Hazeroth and stayed there. Chapter 12. Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? They asked. Hasn't he also spoken through us? And the Lord heard this. Now Moses was a very humble man, more humble than anyone else on the face of the earth. At once the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, come out to the tent of meeting, all three of you. So the three of them came out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance to the tent and summoned Aaron and Miriam. When both of them stepped forward, he said, listen to my words. When a prophet of the Lord is among you, I reveal myself to him in visions. I speak to him in dreams. But this is not true of my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. With him I speak face to face, clearly, and not in riddles. He sees the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? The anger of the Lord burned against them, and he left them. When the cloud lifted from above the tent, there stood Miriam, leprous like snow. Aaron turned towards her and saw that she had leprosy, and he said to Moses, please, my Lord, do not hold against us the sin we have so foolishly committed. Do not let her be like a stillborn infant coming from her mother's womb, with its flesh half eaten away. So Moses cried out to the Lord, O God, please heal her. The Lord replied to Moses, if her father had spit in her face, would she not have been in disgrace for 7 days? Confine her outside the camp for 7 days. After that, she can be brought back. So Miriam was confined outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move on till she was brought back. After that, the people left Hazeroth and encamped in the desert of Paran. Chapter 13. The Lord said to Moses, send some men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. From each ancestral tribe, send one of its leaders. So, at the Lord's command, Moses sent them out of the desert of Paran. All of them were leaders of the Israelites. These are their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shemua, son of Zechur. From the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori. From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh. From the tribe of Issachar, Igdal, son of Joseph. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphau. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gaddiel, son of Sodi. From the tribe of Manasseh, a tribe of Joseph, Gadi, son of Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamaliel. From the tribe of Asher, Sether, son of Mikael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Vopsi. From the tribe of Gad, Guel, son of Makai. These are the names of the men Moses sent to explore the land. Moses gave Hoshea, son of Nun, the name Joshua. When Moses sent them to explore Canaan, he said, go up through the Negev and on the hill country. See what the land is like and whether the people who live there are strong or weak, few or many. What kind of land do they live in? Is it good or bad? What kind of towns do they live in? Are they unwalled or fortified? How is the soil? Is it fertile or poor? Are there trees in it or not? Do your best to bring back some of the fruit of the land. It was the season for the first ripe grapes. So they went up and explored the land from the desert of Zin as far as Rehob, toward Lebo Hamath. They went up through the Negev and came to Hebron, where Ahiman, Shishai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, lived. Hebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. When they reached the valley of Eshcol, they cut off a branch bearing a single cluster of grapes, 2 of them carried on a pole between them, among with some of the pomegranates and figs. That place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes the Israelites cut off there. At the end of 40 days, they returned from exploring the land. They came back to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the desert of Paran. There they reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit of the land. They gave Moses this account. We went into the land to which you sent us, and it does flow with milk and honey. Here is the fruit. But the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites live in the Negev. The Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live near the sea and along the Jordan. Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we can't attack these people. They're stronger than we are, and they're spread among the Israelites. A bad report about the land that they explored. They said, the land we explored devours all those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from Nephilim, and we seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. So there's a couple things going on here. I guess I'll talk to the Nephilim thing first. So I don't know how common knowledge this is, but the descendants of the descendants of Anak, um, or the earlier descendants were the Nephilim, and then the earlier forefathers, I guess, and then the descendants are the people of Anak. So these people being giants, and that's spoken of. I believe it's a little bit in Genesis as well, talking about what are the Nephilim, and there's this. I think a belief or understanding that the Nephilim are some of the angels that have fallen and were attracted to the daughters of man. So they are these fallen angels and people together with them, and that's kind of a loose understanding or loose given about it. And I'm probably butchering it, but that's who these people are. Just giants, incredibly big people and powerful. So this exploration comes back with that report. The land is good, but the people that are there are not something that we can contend with. So I think about that, and I think about specifically verses 1 through 3 in chapter 13. The Lord said to Moses, "Send some of the men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. From each ancestral tribe, send one of its leaders." Verse 3. So, at the Lord's command, Moses sent them out of the desert of Paran. All of them were leaders of the Israelites. Why would God do that? Why would God send? God already knows what the land is like. And more importantly, God already knows what these heads of the tribes are going to come back and say. When the Israelites go out, who is going to say, we can't go into the land? All of them. Who's going to say we can go in? Except for the one guy, Joseph, son of Nun. God knows that. God knows exactly the report. God knows every single step they're going to take and how many pieces of, how many leaves or how many grains of dust or sand or dirt that they walk on. He knows all of that. So why would God have them explore when he knows the great disobedience that's going to follow? Because it's not just this exploration. Because of this, there is judgment coming. And if you know the story of Moses and the Israelites wandering in the desert, then there's your answer. So why would God do this? And I think it's probably the same reason that God gives us trials, even though he knows what we're going to do. It's an opportunity, at least as far as my understanding and my belief, is it's an opportunity for obedience. God knows the hardship and difficulties, and God knows how we're going to respond. That's his all-knowing. But he gives us free will, and he allows us to learn from those mistakes. So did the Israelites learn from that? Well, for a while they did, and we have their story. So we can look at the Israelites and be like, man, they sure screwed up in the desert. They were disobedient towards God. And yet, it's not just a story, right? That's a reflection of our lives. We're not more like God in this story. We are much more like the rebellious Israelites, who God still provides for. So that's the first part. The next part was the provision. I said right at the start, God gave judgment and then God gave provision. And yet, this provision that he gave in the form of quail there in chapter 11, we also see that is a judgment from God saying, I'm enough for you. Stop wailing and thinking you need more. You want more? I'll give it to you, and it will make you sick. And I think there's something in there too. I don't know necessarily if this is a great example, but God may provide other people abundance. But the Bible also says that when he does that, it's often that he will not let them enjoy it because they are looking for the abundance, not for him. And I know that's very true of my own life. When I am looking forward to something, getting really excited about it, often that's a new gun or something, I don't have joy in it. I have a little bit of joy when I get to, or a little bit of happiness, it's fleeting, when I get to go out and shoot it. But I've been looking forward to it for so long, and maybe in such depth that maybe I've placed that in a position in my life where it shouldn't be. And that's part of my prayer for you, Kinsey, that you would have that proper alignment of what's important so that you're not hungering for beyond what God has provided for you. I don't think it's bad to have aspiration, but I think we need to kind of keep that regimented. My story today actually goes along with the obedience piece. You were sitting down and you had a lot of dinner, but I was just trying to get your stomach just full enough that when you go to bed, it'd just be smooth. So I gave you a veggie pouch and I walked away, and I shouldn't have. And I walked away. You had your tray and you had your bib, so you were good. But I was getting some stuff together for Rayleigh, and I turn around and you had squirted the veggie pouch, which is like it's like a it almost looks like applesauce with cinnamon in it. So it's pretty dark. But you had dumped it on your tray, and I turned around and I saw that and I was like, "No, wait, Kinsey." And drop your you drop the pouch and immediately hands in it and start smearing it everywhere. I'm like, "Stop, stop, stop, stop." And you start smearing faster. And I'm like, "Stop, stop." And as I'm saying this and running towards your tray, you're smearing faster and faster to try and get as much everywhere as possible. When I saw you dump that veggie pouch on there, squirt the veggie pouch on there, did I know what you were going to do? Yes. You do that often. I didn't know you were that full, but I did know that the second you squirted it on there. So why did I say no? Well, I hoped for obedience, right? I gave you the opportunity for obedience. I'm just saying that I think that happens often in our lives when God provides us that opportunity. But it was pretty funny. You were just smearing it all over. It was ridiculous and disgusting and a little bit adorable. But either way, worth praying about. So let's do it. God, you provide greatly for us. You have given us so much provision through your Son. And God, yeah, you've given us material blessings as well. God, may we be content with what you have given. May we use it to honor and bless others and to lead them toward you, God. And God, help us to be thankful and content. Help us to make the most of those opportunities that you have given us for obedience, God. I pray for Kinsey that you would give her discernment and wisdom and a good ear to hear your word, Lord. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, Kinsey, I love you. I appreciate you. And I will plan on seeing you tomorrow. Have a good one.